All right, so in the previous lesson, we were working on this fifth character right here. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that. This is kind of where we left off. So I've gone ahead and copied over that adjustment layer so that we've clipped that blue color to our pencil work, and we're ready to go ahead and begin working on our refined lines here. So let's go ahead and select that layer, and I'm going to zoom in on our character here. And I tell you what, let's come over here and again make our changes to our brush. We're going to grab paint and let's switch over to our brushes, turn off transfer here, and then change the brush tip shape just a little bit. We'll pinch that in, maybe just a hair more, and rotate it just a little bit. So we're ready to go, and I'll go ahead and put in a value of 4 pixels because that is what I believe we've been working with as far as this goes. So again here, nothing new. We're going to work on really flushing out this detail with clean, confident lines. So I want to come in here, and again I'm going to do this with quick, clean strokes, moving my elbow and not my wrist. Obviously this hat is a little bit messed up and wrinkled, so I'm working on a few of those more random lines, or more just a little bit more shaky, but indicating wrinkles in this hat. So we'll come down here and add a line there. And obviously there's a lot of different lines going on here, so we'll do our best to get through all of them in this lesson, but I'm going to come in here and detail out some of these bells. We talked about him having these little bells hanging from his hat, so I'm just going to kind of come in and, much like you would see on a little Christmas bell, we're going to go in and do these little lines just like so, maybe a little dot at the tip of the line, so it looks like it's a bell. And again, just working our way around this hat, hitting each one of these lines, creating this sense of depth by having one line extend beyond another line. So by extending this line beyond this line right here, it tells me that this part of the hat is closer to me. And we're essentially creating a sense of depth, or a stacking order, if you will. So coming along here, let's just continue on working on this hat. Let's come down this seam right here, hit a few of these small wrinkles right here, just like so, and we'll go ahead and hit this nice curved line around his brow, just sort of like that. Obviously color is going to do a lot for creating a sense of depth when it comes to like wrinkles and things like that. So obviously wrinkles are going to catch shadows, and obviously they're going to catch highlights as well. So that kind of thing we're going to be thinking about when we add color to this character. But I tell you what, right now we're just coming in and defining the spaces for that color using our clean lines. So let's go ahead and undo that one here. Don't be afraid to undo here at this point, because you want to get exactly the right line that you're looking for. All right, looking really good so far. Work our way down. Almost got his hat knocked out. Coming in underneath here, and lastly we're going to hit this little edge down here. And we've got a little bell right here. This one's a little tricky because it's kind of touching his ear, so I'm not going to do the entire ellipse. We'll just come in and again match these bells up to the ones we've already done. Just sort of like that. Now we left a bell off right here. We'll come in and add that one in. And we're ready to go ahead and start outlining or creating the lines for his face. So obviously we've got these hairy little eyebrows right here, so I'm going to come in and define those again with kind of these jagged lines. Now these lines aren't going to be near as jagged underneath because these eyebrows are actually going to roll underneath the brow just a little bit. He's actually got fairly bushy eyebrows. And we'll come over here and do the same thing for this other eyebrow. And alright, we're at his eyes. So I'm going to come in here and kind of work down the profile here before we work our way into the eyes. And remember, he has these nice angular cheekbones right here. So we'll come over and do this other one. Maybe there's a wrinkle right here. And looking for just the right line. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring down his nose. That's important to remember when you're drawing noses, is that really, again, there's 3 sides. There's going to be this top face of a nose, and there's going to be these sides. So even though we're not drawing this line right here, it does exist. It does define that face. So it's important to consider when you're developing the shape of the nose. Alright, so we'll hint at that little crevice right there, maybe not quite that much. And we'll go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and work on his eyes just a little bit. Now, again, we've got these sort of diamond-shaped eyes here. So we're going to bring this line down just like so. And very, almost angry eyes, if you will. He's got kind of beady little center to the eyes. We're going to do that, try and do that all in one stroke here. And do the same thing over here. And now I intentionally drew several of these wrinkles underneath his eyes, and I did that to sort of catch the shadows. I think that giving him some years on him, making it look like maybe he's been around just a little bit. I'm going to shrink that brush down just a little bit because the angle we have this pinched at is actually making it a little thicker than I'd like. So we're going to come in, hit these wrinkles, sort of like that. We come in and carry those around. Alright, now we got one more bell here. Let's go ahead and knock that out. That one was a little hard to see because it overlaps his face, but nonetheless it is there. Alright, so we're looking really, really good. We're going to continue on. We're going to kind of focus on his ear right now. I am zoomed in pretty close at this point. That's okay. If it's easier for you to zoom in at this point to do your clean lines, feel free. I mean, I think that this is it's easier at this point to get a clean line. You're not going to miss quite as much if you're zoomed in. So again, I'm zoomed in at about 200% right now. If you want to zoom in this far, feel free. I don't recommend sketching zoomed in this far because obviously you can't see the entire composition. But right now, again, we're just working on these clean lines. So coming over here, creating that chin of his. And we've just about got his face done. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this mouth. Now, I may come in here and kind of highlight these smile lines right here. Just a little bit. Now, we've got this little dimple right here. I may just kind of define one edge of that dimple and use that to catch the shadow that's going to be laid in there. So let's come in here and work on his mouth now. Now, the mouth was a little bit more detailed with this character because obviously he's got this big jagged smile, and I think that it's one that, you know, may take a little bit longer to create the line work for. All right. I think we're looking good. Now, this line I'm doing now, I kind of envision that as being sort of this lighter pink line on the inside of his mouth. Maybe he's got some kind of a makeup on or something like that that's defined there by that line. So that's kind of what I had in mind when I was drawing that. Let's kind of bring this next corner around. All right, looking really good. And we'll go ahead and kind of create this edge right here. Now, obviously, this edge right here exists because of that cheekbone coming down right into that area. I may not need to actually connect that cheekbone all the way there. I may just define that by a shadow. So let me undo a couple times and maybe bring it to right about there. And great. We'll come in and work on this line right here just a little bit. And let's go ahead and do his lower lip. All right, looking good. And we're at these nice jagged teeth of his. Very creepy teeth, if you ask me. I think that if I had seen a clown smile at me with these teeth, I might just turn and run. But this is kind of just fitting for this type of character that we're drawing. So I think that giving him these teeth is going to add a lot to just the overall feel of the character. So coming in here now, just quickly outlining those teeth. Obviously, we have a little bit of visible gum there at the top, so we'll come in here and do the same for the bottom. Now, thinking about like color when it comes to these teeth, obviously I think that as deformed and jagged as these teeth are, it would probably goes without saying that these teeth are going to be the kind of teeth that probably have a very yellow or even a brown tint too. So just something we'll keep in mind when we get to color. But coming over here now, working on his neck piece a little bit. So again, I'm creating a little bit of a bumpy feel right there. But when I get over here, I'm going to really work to pull out this wave pattern, or this ruffle pattern we've got going here. Alright, so we're looking really good. Trying to do this nice, clean, one long line only releasing my brush to actually just reposition the canvas a little bit. Alright, looking good. And we'll come over here and complete that. Looks like we went a little bit far. We'll trim that off. Alright, so again, we got the same type of deal down here. So we'll just come in here and start going over this next layer of his neck piece. Alright, looking good. Just about done. Alright, so I went ahead and did add a little piece of his neck right here. I think that it was missing that. It almost felt like he didn't have a neck. So I went ahead and added that. And there's a little ring maybe there that is in the same pattern as this neckwear he's got on. So coming over here, we'll just go ahead and fill in this line work right here, giving him a little bit of a ground, a little bit of a base where his shoulders are. Alright, looking good. Now, I think as far as the indentations here in the top of this, I'm going to handle that with the color. I don't think I want to mess with putting a nice big black dark line in on top of that. I think that we can do that with subtle variations in color. So let's just go ahead and take a look at where we came from, being our rough line work, and where we ended up. And I think our character's really starting to look pretty good. I may clean this up just a little bit in between lessons, get rid of some of these little sloppy areas where I went a little too far with my line, but in the next lesson we'll go ahead and pick up where we're leaving off here, and we'll begin adding color to a character.